Have you ever dreamt you could fly? How about being able to dance forever because your legs got filled with nanotech, and now you can shoot lasers out of your eyes, and nobody can defeat you? Yeah, maybe that's just me, but we've all had at least one fantasy about having some kind of superpower, right?
Do you think you could do this again for everyone?
Well, check out these regular folks who were given just that, an awesome superpower. Russian lorry driver sees a ghost. This dashcam video from Russia caught what some are calling proof of teleportation. The footage shows a truck barreling down a rural highway. Then suddenly a man in a lab coat looking like he's late for a very important meeting appears out of thin air. This makes the driver swerve dramatically. The mysterious pedestrian was seemingly unfazed by his near-death experience, or his apparent journey through the space-time continuum, so he casually continues on his way. Armchair physicists are torn between calling it a leap in quantum mechanics or just a simple case of jaywalking with serious swagger. Some think the man was attempting an ill-advised shortcut. This is no way to cross the street, guys. Others say a little digital manipulation might have been at play here. Whatever the truth is, this teleporting man has blown up a bunch of theories. People are discussing everything from secret government experiments to glitches in the Matrix. As the debate rages on, one thing is clear. Pedestrian crossings in Russia might just be portals to other dimensions. And in other parts of the world, it's the humble bus stop that might just be a wormhole to another universe. Check out this next clip. So we have here a video capturing a Thai university student's supernatural showdown with a bus driver, and it has viewers doing double takes. It all began with a dispute over bus fare. This escalated into a full-blown display of telekinetic powers. Believe me, it left both onlookers and now the internet in awe. The student seemed to be channeling her inner Jean Grey. She sent the driver flying back with the flick of her wrist. Is this a full-on superhero origin story? The drama doesn't stop there. As the driver reels from his unexpected flight lesson, nearby objects and food stalls join the chaos, all due to the student's newfound abilities. The scene is so perfectly orchestrated, you might wonder if Hollywood's special effects team got lost on their way to a movie set and just decided to make the most of it in Bangkok. It's what I would do. However, cinephiles quickly pointed out the similarities to a promotional stunt for the movie Carrie. So Bangkok might not be getting their own superhero franchise anytime soon. So whether it's a case of life imitating art or a cleverly disguised advertisement, only one thing is really for sure. Bangkok's bus disputes will never look the same again. And while telekinesis is an awesome power, the ability to turn invisible is just as cool in our book, so let's take a look at an invisible man. In our next video, taken from a library or possibly a bookstore, there was a moment that was filmed that has viewers scratching their heads. It's a pretty ordinary scene at first. A man, seemingly on a casual pursuit of knowledge or chasing down a particularly rare book, encountered another individual in a yellow jacket. But here's the crazy twist. The man in the yellow jacket did a Houdini, vanishing into thin air, leaving behind only a falling book as evidence of his existence. Onlookers were left in shock. Their expressions seemed to say, "Did I really just see that?" But maybe it was actually the look of, "Is it too late for a coffee refill?" This disappearing act turned a quiet day among the bookshelves into a scene straight out of Narnia, or was it just a really well-executed prank? Whatever the case, it's safe to say that this library might just have a new piece of marketing gold. They no longer have just books, they now also have live entertainment, and the most baffling kind. And Hey, maybe keep an eye out for mysterious men in yellow jackets. You never know when you might need to be ready for a spooky story that leaps off the page. If you thought that ghost was creepy, our next phantom is giving out high-octane rickshaw rides. Do you believe in ghosts? Some people do, some people don't, but usually they're supposed to be scary, right? Well, not always. Some ghosts are just full-on superheroes. Like this so-called mystery angel, who appeared to save a man from a potentially fatal car crash. Is this a miracle, a masterful video edit, or a sneak peek into humanity's next evolutionary step? The footage shows a biker's close encounter with an oncoming truck. It looks like he's about to head to the afterlife himself, but he was saved by a figure that materialized out of nowhere, teleporting him to safety just in the nick of time. So I'll ask you again, was it divine intervention, an unsung superhero, or just a clever trick of the light? Well, we'll let you decide. But the truck driver's bewildered reaction definitely speaks volumes, and the angel nonchalantly walking away into the night leaves us with more than a couple questions, that's for sure. In an age where drones deliver groceries and cars drive themselves, maybe the idea of teleporting humans isn't that far-fetched anymore? And guess what? We're heading back to Thailand to take a look at just that. We live in a world where the extraordinary sometimes hides in plain sight. Let's take this blurry video, for example. It features a girl, pretty ordinary at first glance, just strolling down a street. But this is no ordinary walk. First, a mysterious halo of light appears on her head, our first clue that she might have powers beyond the mundane. As the camera focuses, reality seems to warp around her. The plot thickens as she realizes she isn't alone in her secret world. Our camera person is filming her. Panic sets in, and what follows could only be described as a game of hide and seek with the laws of physics. She runs, but not in the way most people do. She seems to be defying gravity almost as she goes. Maybe it's a power from the future? And then, just as the chase reaches its climax, she vanishes. Not with a dramatic puff of smoke, but as if she was just never there to begin with. The camera pans to where she stood, but there's only an empty street and the lingering question of, what the heck just happened? Creepy or what? Well, our next clip isn't as subtle, as a full-on X-Men encounter takes place in a nail salon. So, a man in a white vest walks into a nail salon. He sits down casually like he's about to partake in the most ordinary of things, a manicure.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте. Присаживайтесь.
The manicurist is set up with her array of polishes and files. She prepares to beautify yet another set of nails, but this is no ordinary client. With a flick of his wrists, out pops Wolverine's famous claws, gleaming under the salon's fluorescent lights. The manicurist's reaction? Yeah, her jaw drops. It's a mix of shock, awe, and a little bit of fear. It's like she suddenly found herself as a character in a Marvel movie rather than in her everyday workplace. It's a pretty hilarious scene. Imagine Wolverine, after a long day of battling villains, deciding that what he needs isn't another fight, but a good manicure. But how do you file adamantium? What shade of nail polish complements unbreakable metal? Well, even superheroes are sometimes in need of a little pampering. Or maybe some inventive way to unwind, like floating in midair. So check out this next clip. In the skies near LAX, a Boeing 747 pilot reported a pretty unusual sighting.
We just saw the guy pass by us at Jetpack.
At 1,500 meters, not exactly the cruising altitude for birds or drones, the pilot spotted what appeared to be a flying man with a jetpack. And yeah, I said it right, a jetpack. He's known as the Jetpack guy, and this high-flying individual has got many people intrigued. Was it Tony Stark taking his new suit for a spin, or just someone with a very ambitious DIY project? The FAA and the FBI are on the case, but so far, the identity of Jetpack Guy remains as mysterious as his method of propulsion. It probably played out something like this. Air traffic controllers were scrambling, the pilots were double-checking their altitude, and one lone adventurer was humming the Superman theme song and cruising through the airspace of one of the busiest airports in the world. I have 3 questions. How? Why? And can I get one too? This isn't the first time Jetpack Guy has made an appearance, though. Oh no, and jetpacks are available to buy. But David Mayman, CEO of Jetpack Aviation, explained it's unlikely to be one of their devices. According to him, any modern jetpack that we know about would run out of fuel way before reaching such heights, not to mention the noise that it would be making. So, what did the pilot see? A very lost, human-shaped drone? Or has someone cracked the code to personal flight without the FAA's approval? Whatever his story, he's become the most elusive figure in aviation since Amelia Earhart. And next up, we go from a guy flying through the air to a guy disappearing into thin air. Next. In a quiet Kentucky neighborhood, a couple's evening got a little eerier when their CCTV captured a spooky scene. The footage shows a man wearing what seems to be army fatigue and black shoes. At first, he's just taking a stroll across their driveway. But as he walks, he starts to fizzle out like a bad TV signal. Then he disappears into thin air. Did he walk into an invisible portal? The homeowners were understandably spooked, and when they reviewed the footage, they had more questions than answers. The wife ran and grabbed her a spirit box because why not add a little paranormal investigation into the mix? With it close by, she rushed outside only to find nothing. The driveway was as empty as their hopes of solving this mystery. Was it Kentucky's very own version of the Bermuda Triangle? The man's gear suggests he might have been on a secret mission, possibly to explore the unknown alternative reality realms of their quiet neighborhood. A few people think he's a time traveler, caught on tape. A whole bunch of others say it was a ghost just totally unaware of his viral fame. And if you thought disappearing was impressive, wait until you see our next clip, which is a real-life Popeye. This is one crazy scene that would leave even the most stoic sumo wrestler completely impressed. Check out this video from Japan. In it, we see Akemi, an 18-year-old high school student, and a regular car. While chatting on her phone in a parking lot, Akemi drops her deodorant spray and it rolls under the car. Without missing a beat, she does what any of us would naturally do. Lifts the car with one hand to retrieve deodorant. This feat of strength seems like it belongs in the tales of legendary samurai or the mythical Oni with their supernatural might. But Akemi's just a high school teen. Has she been hiding this superpower her whole life? Or was this the moment she discovered it? Japan has always loved tales of strength and valor. Think about the determination of sumo warriors and the formidable presence of sumo champions. Or let's be real, think about Goku and Vegeta. Yeah, now Akemi has added herself to this type of folklore. All it takes to become a legend is a ton of strength and, of course, the right deodorant. But it seems like she might not be the only one. Is this some kind of secret society? Well, sit tight because we have another unlikely lifting champ coming right up. This guy is flexing in a way that would make even strongman competitors pause and take notes. This video from Taiwan caught sight of a man doing the unthinkable. He single-handedly pushed a tipping cargo truck back to stability. This isn't your everyday display of strength. It's more like a day where the laws of physics just don't show up for work. So we have this cargo truck, its rear half dangerously close to kissing the ground. It's teetering on the edge of disaster, and then we have our unnamed hero who's showing up. He's a man whose diet consists of spinach, just spinach, exclusively spinach. He's like Popeye. With no tools but just his bare hands, he braces against the massive vehicle. And then, with a push that would make Atlas proud, he rights the truck as if it was nothing more than a light bicycle. The truck bounces back with such vigor, you'd think it was as surprised as the onlookers. You can call him Hercules, I guess. Then the man casually walks off to the side, hands on hips. He's probably wondering if he should have charged a superhero fee, but it's all in a day's work for old Herc. Scientists and the public have been interested in superhuman strength for a very long time. This is when people do amazing feats of strength that are far beyond the normal capability, like lifting a truck to save someone trapped underneath, or in our hero's case, just because he kind of felt like it. These kind of events are often cited as happening during times of crisis or danger. It's not just something that happens in comic books or movies. This amazing show of power, which usually happens in life or death situations, has actually been reported many times in real life. This is likely caused by the body's acute stress response, which is also called the fight or flight response. When people are in immediate danger, their bodies go through a rapid set of changes that are controlled by the adrenal glands. These glands release adrenaline and noradrenaline into the bloodstream. This sets off a chain of events that makes the body stronger so it can either face the threat or run away from it. Not everyone believes in the powers of adrenaline, though. The internet has since explored with theories ranging from hidden hydraulics to the man being some kind of superhuman. But the consensus remains. This was an extraordinary act of strength and timing. This man reminds us that sometimes heroes have to be ready to push back against the odds, or in this case, against trucks. Next up, we have some pretty mean Russian villains, and the guys who escaped them by a hair. In the heart of a Russian city, a grandfather and his grandchild set out on a sunny afternoon walk. The grandfather has promised to take his grandson on an adventure. Even better, the youngster was riding on his favorite scooter. Unknown to them, high above on a construction site, a concrete block is teetering on the edge. With a sudden shove, it tumbles down, plunging to the ground. Time seemed to slow as the block descended, and it shattered barely a meter from rewriting the day's story from fun to tragedy. In a stroke of luck, the block crashed to the ground just behind them. Its impact sent a shiver through the street, but left the pair unscathed. The grandfather, heart racing, looked up, as did some other passerbys, to see that, in fact, some young hooligans had thrown the block at them. A younger adult man ran up to confront them, but they got away before the cops could deal with it. This callous behavior could have ended a life, but a guardian angel was protecting him, I guess, so good for them. And if you thought that was cool, how about a kid who can bend spoons? Okay, so first off, this isn't Avatar. Spoon bending isn't water bending or fire bending. We're talking about the utensil that you eat with getting bent. So let's meet our friend. We're in a cozy kitchen, just like any other cozy kitchen, and we meet Dorothy. She's a young girl whose relationship with the ordinary turned into something extraordinary.
There she is. Okay, this is Dorothy Hagen. Say hi to everyone.
So you're probably thinking, what could be more normal than a bunch of spoons and forks in a kitchen? Well, these cutlery items are the unsuspecting stars of a performance that went viral across the whole world. You see, Dorothy's something of an all-powerful magician. Dorothy, with the innocence and curiosity that's characteristic of her age, set herself a challenge that plenty had attempted, but few had mastered. She wanted to bend a spoon with the power of her mind. After observing the hopelessly failed attempts of an adult to perform this mentalism exercise, Dorothy decided it was her turn to try. So check it out as Dorothy picks up her preferred fork.
Do you think you could do this again for everyone?
Dorothy concentrates and gets ready to inflict an awful fate on this poor fork. But this is a worthy sacrifice in the world of magic. Dorothy begins to rub. As if responding to an unseen force, the fork begins to bend.
Here's the spoon that you did. Obviously bent.
Not through physical manipulation, nor through any trickery, but seemingly through the sheer will of Dorothy's focused mind. Wow. So, skeptics might be searching for a logical explanation. They might try and say that there's a hidden mechanism behind this phenomenon. But in that moment, anybody would have been blown away if they had seen this little girl's mastery of metal. Dorothy achieved what many considered impossible, and they say this was a real demonstration of mental power over physical matter.
Uh-oh. What? Oh my god, what the?
The performance concludes with Dorothy holding up the bent fork. Yet another symbol of her success. So was this a trick of light, or did Dorothy possess superhuman powers of concentration? It's a mystery for now, but forks and spoons of the world are quaking in their little plastic divider drawers every time they hear the word Dorothy. And if you liked that little magic trick, check out the next guy. He has godlike powers over lights. In the dimly lit expanse of an underground parking lot, the creepiest thing you might expect are maybe the echoes of soft footsteps of late night shoppers. But this video shows us a scene that blurs the line between reality and the mystical. A man, maybe just an ordinary shopper by day, transforms into an urban wizard by night. Check it out. As he strolls between the rows of parked cars, he extends his hand with a flourish that's worthy of Harry Potter. And coincidentally, that's where the magic begins. He's igniting the headlights of each car, without so much as touching any of the vehicles. He moves from car to car, as if he's giving life to them with his magic. And this isn't your typical parking lot scenario, to say the least. Usually the most excitement you'll get in a situation like this is finding your car without triggering the alarm, but no, this is something out of a modern-day fairy tale. But we're not in a distant enchanted forest. We're right here in concrete and steel, just daily life. So, are you rubbing your eyes? Are you questioning the line between illusion and reality? Well, I'll be honest with you, I am. Was this man a sorcerer? And how was he gifted with the power to awaken the slumbering spirits of cars? And, well, let's be honest, why? What is this magic useful for, other than a pretty neat party trick? Or was he simply a master of technology, using a clever gadget to create a creepy scene that would sort of freak us all out? Plenty of questions to ponder there, but don't think too hard about it, because next up, we have a straight-up alien, and this extraterrestrial dude is fully zen. In Diyarbakir, Turkey, a CCTV camera caught footage so bizarre, it's got conspiracy theorists losing their minds. Oh, the star of the show? Yeah, it's a teeny tiny alien. It not only strolls down the street with the confidence of a parade marshal, it also shows off by levitating in midair. So there you have it, a levitating alien about 30 centimeters tall, casually exploring the streets like it's on a sightseeing tour, from another galaxy. The grainy video has become a center for wild theories. Some viewers say it's just an oddly shaped balloon floating in the wind, but there's others who are maybe too jacked up on too many sci-fi movies. They're convinced that we have an extraterrestrial tourist on our planet. "Look, it's an alien," shouts one believer, before diving under the bed while wearing a tinfoil hat for added protection. There's also some more creative guesses, like how some people think it might be a penguin. And yes, a penguin. Because, as we all know, penguins are notorious for their mid-air hovering capabilities, especially in the toasty, warm urban areas of Turkey. Anyway, this tiny alien has fired up the imagination of viewers worldwide. Whether it's an interstellar visitor, a lost penguin with hidden talents, or just a balloon doing balloon stuff, one thing is clear. The streets of Diyarbakir were far from ordinary on that day. In our final amazing superhero moment, a man from Russia transforms a near catastrophe into a moment of, is this guy even human? So here's the deal. Two men in a slippery attempt try to halt a car skidding on ice, but it's gonna crash into a parked vehicle. Their efforts, though pretty well intentioned, only add to the ice-capades. They soon find themselves more acquainted with the ground than the car in question. So it's time for our regular, everyday comrade hero. Check it out. We can see him casually approaching the scene like he's about to post some mail rather than commit a feat of superhuman strength. He reaches out and brings the car to a standstill. Just centimeters from disaster, and he barely had to move a muscle. So, inevitably, he became known as Russian Superman. Was it adrenaline, sheer luck, or is there some secret school for superheroes in Russia that we just don't know about? One thing is clear. On that icy day, Comrade Superman turned a potential crash into a masterclass in saving the day.